Yes. Everybody hear each other? Good.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Then we will start the meeting. But before, I just want you to all know that one of our members, Pat Neary, was the Citizen of the Year for the Rotary Club for Bridgewater, and she was honored for that last week. So just be aware of that. We have important people on this committee.
Oh, treat me with respect.
Well,
Congratulations, Pat.
all right, the meeting is now started. The first item is to approve the minutes of the last meeting, April 9th, 2024. Do I hear a motion to, Bill is on, good. To approve the minutes, it's been,
I have a question.
Yeah.
We referred to the signs that Nicole was ordering, and I
Yeah.
know that we did get them. Were they really $64 a piece?
I don't know, Nicole?
That seems crazy.
No, they weren't $64.
No.
Did I have that in the minutes?
Yes, right.
Okay, I can adjust that. I think it was 164 for all 10 signs.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no, it
It
was not.
was, no, I think it with, I can bring up the invoice if you guys wanted to see it, but, it was, for the signs, it was, 165, and then the metal frames to put the signs on was an additional $25.
Okay,
And that covered all 10 signs.
All right,
okay.
so,
That's-
motion made to approve, and I believe it's been seconded. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Motion passes. Okay. Public comment. We don't have any public to comment on. Okay, the Shirley has to leave early within the first half hour, so I'm going to reorder the agenda because some of the things that she wants to deal with, we should deal with first. And item D in the agenda that I sent out is tree mitigation, and Shirley would like to take that up first. So Shirley, you're on.
Okay, Nicole and I talked about the possibility of getting together so that we can have a real working meeting and try to whack off this mitigation formula for our street trees, town trees, and any other potential developmental area of trees. And so we're going to be meeting in a couple of weeks, the date to which I should have. And if anyone, and we're going to meet at the library, so if anyone would like to join us there, they're more than welcome. Nicole, you don't happen to have the date, do you? I seem to.
I do. We were gonna either meet next
Yeah, I
Friday,
have
next Friday, the 24th, or Wednesday, the 29th. Probably, both of those days, probably around noon or so.
Right.
All
And
right.
one of the people that we thought might be helpful here is because we'll have to provide some kind of identification of the trees that are going to be part of this mitigation. We thought perhaps Pat Neary might be interested in joining us if she can and contribute to the list of trees that we will be trying to protect or to put a price tag on. Is that a possibility for you, Pat, either the 24th or the 29th?
I think it could be, yes, yes,
Okay, that's fine, except
right.
that's a full-fledged meeting then, and it has to be posted.
Yep.
So, if you decide on a date, Josh, I assume we can post that as a special meeting? Can we not?
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't even need to be a special meeting. It just be a regular posted meeting.
Okay,
Just let me know, and if you don't mind just making the referral through the chair.
okay,
So Ray, if you could send it to me as the posting, that would be
okay, that's
the
fine.
best way.
So
Sure.
rather than delay it any further, is it possible, Nicole and Pat, that you're available on the 24th around 12 o'clock?
Let me see. I'll tell you in a moment.
That's a Friday.
The 24th, yes, that could work. Yep.
All right, so is that all right, Nicole? We'll meet on Friday, the 24th at 12 o'clock at the public library.
Okay, so that's fine. So what I'll do is, Josh, then I take it you want me to send you an email requesting that, right?
That
Yeah,
would
if
be
you don't
great.
mind.
Okay, I will send Josh an email. So the meeting will be Friday, the 24th, 12 o'clock at the library on mitigation, right? And I think I emailed all you that this is important because I did talk to Michael on a number of things. And one, he did say we should have this formula that having the planning board simply request money from developers is not legally the way to do it, that we should have a formula. So this is important. So I'm glad that we're moving along on this. All right, anything else, Shirley, on mitigation?
Nothing less. Nicole, do you have anything else to add? Okay,
I don't think so. Yeah, I think just, we did make a little headway, so we're really just kind of dusting this off and trying to get it to the point that we can bring it before you all as, kind of a proposal that we can all agree that we want to bring forward to the planning board, right? Ray, would that be the process?
Yeah, wait a minute, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Michael may have to.
We might have to
So
check on that.
Mitigation, there is a line in the new zoning that refers to mitigation.
Okay.
It may have to go into zoning, which is much more complicated. If it's simply planning board, which it may be, we may be able to do that. The planning
Yeah.
board can make that decision themselves.
Yeah,
We can straighten that out once.
we can figure it out.
We'll try to
But it's-
straighten that out.
Essentially, it would basically be like, at this point, we're basically considering that we're providing guidance for a formula basically for mitigation dollars when developers are removing substantial trees and or potentially clear cutting, that we'd want a standard formula, like, either taking an inventory of substantial, like of trees of a given caliper and a given species, say,
Right,
and that there's a formula like that, okay, I'm cutting down 10 oaks and I therefore, owe $4,000 into the tree fund and or potentially for large tracts of land, such as the development across from Fireworks Circle and like what happened at the NIP where there's large tracts of clear cutting, perhaps it's like a per 10,000 square foot or per acre or something to that effect. Because there may be a breaking point where they're not going to be able to go in and tag every single tree,
right.
unfortunately, when they cut down half a forest.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah.
you're right about that. I think
Okay.
our main concern is large numbers of trees.
Yes.
Of 2 or 3 acres and beyond.
Yep.
That we're really concerned with. I
Okay.
know that yeah, if you're aware of the fact that, where the old, what was it, the fireplace store, what was it, Lehman's? LeMay's on the 18, there's a plan before the planning board right now to put a hardware store there, which is nice, but there's also behind it, they want to put a large self-storage area, which is the couple neighbors are complaining about it. It's a large building, they're gonna cut all those trees down back there. And I attended the meeting and just said, we want mitigation for those trees, whether we get it or not, but we don't have a formula right now, so. Anyway, it's important, so we're talking about May 24th, 12 PM at the library, right?
right.
Okay, next, since you're still there, Shirley, the tree ordinance, we already started that, you wanna continue, Shirley, with it? I believe you were going over it, you and Pat and Bill and everybody?
I don't know to what degree we are, well, what stage we're at now on the tree ordinance. Pat, can you add to that?
Well, we finished what we thought we should do, Shirley, but we were going to run it by this committee line by line to make sure everything is included correctly.
Right, and I thought we started that at the last meeting, did we not?
Not really. I mean, we have we've made notes that we would like to integrate into the document that the last document that Josh sent out to us. And I'm not sure if that's what you want to do right now, if you want to go over it right now. I mean, do we have the time?
Well, wait a minute now. Maybe I should have taken better notes. I thought we went through some of this last time. What I'm looking at, if you have all your copies in front of you, where it says section 2, is this the same thing? This article establishes policies, regulations, standards necessary to ensure that the town continue to realize the benefits provided by the urban forest. The provisions of this article are enacted to protect public trees and not the one.
Right, yeah.
I thought we went through.
I don't know how far we got though, Ray. Do you, Shirley?
No, I don't remember that either.
For example, the next paragraph, we had to cross out coastal wetlands. Do you show that on your copy?
Yeah, I didn't, I have it on here. I have it highlighted, I think, to to get rid of, yeah. So,
Yeah. And down below that in section 5 is non-point
yep,
unidentified sources of pollutants.
non-point, we do eliminate that also, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I have, that's what I'm looking at, the copy, my copy, yeah.
Okay, good.
And as far as I have, everything's the same. Under significant tree, you have a change.
We thought we needed a definition of that because it's referred to in this document, but there is no definition.
Right.
And right above it, the significant tree, we have a description, but we probably should add of at least certain dBH, diameter at breast height, details. Do you agree?
I'm fine. I'm just, I'm looking at the copy you sent out. It seems when I'm looking at here that most of the changes you're recommending are on those first 2 pages,
Okay. Oh,
correct?
Well, I have some more on page 3.
Yeah, I know. I see one there. One change. But when
Yeah.
you get to page 4 and 5, I don't see any changes. 6 I do.
I think we do have, look under 6.5, removal of trees. It ends with Roman numeral 3, within 3 business days.
Yep.
Then we had Roman numeral 4, add section 3 of chapter 290.
I don't have that.
And section 5 would be add section 4 from chapter 290. So
Yeah,
I
the
do
most
think-
recent version I have is March 11th, and it doesn't have those 2 things. It does have a definition of significant trees.
All right, we are,
oh yeah, significant is in there. It was specimen tree that wasn't in here.
Well, I missed the last meeting. And I took it upon myself to call the DCR and get in touch with Julie Coop, who I used to work with years ago. And I'm waiting for her to give me a call back to see if there was someone there that would actually help us go over what we've got done and suggest additions, subtractions. But apparently she's on vacation.
I think Pat and I agreed that it would be really important to have someone who deals with this on a regular basis help us develop it, because we're just fish in water here. We don't know where we're swimming to.
But I
Agreed.
think the best source for that would be the DCR.
Mhm.
They've got a good set of guidelines that we've been using.
I think I'm, if I'm not mistaken, Bill, I think Julie is the woman I contacted. I'm not sure if it was her about getting,
The
Ryan
speaker,
to speak before.
yeah,
the group. And she was very responsive to, helping. Okay, I think what I'm hearing is we really can't do anything right now. I think what the important thing is to set the basis for the future. And would it be too much to say that this meeting that's being set up for May 24th to deal with a secondary issue of the ordinance and just to get an idea where we're at, that those people that can attend that meeting? Would that be, what do you think about that, Shirley?
Well, I hate to step in, having not been in at the beginning with this, and I don't know how Nicole feels about it, but I think Bill and Pat were involved at the upstart. James, I think you were as well, no? So I don't know what group has had the longest history with this and has done the most work with it. But combining the mitigation and the ordinance, I think is a little,
Too much?
well, it
Okay.
doesn't fit.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, the beginning was Bill and Josh who were
right.
working on this.
Okay.
I'm open to suggestions. I just want to move it along. What do you guys think? Bill, Josh, what do you think? Bill, do you want to wait? Do you want to obviously wait for
I'd
Julie
I'd
to-
like to hear from Julie Coop to see if they actually have someone that would hold our hand a little bit. But I've got to give her another week, I guess.
Okay.
Bill, maybe you need an updated copy of what we have so that you can present that to her.
I think I have that. Unfortunately, I'm down on the Cape and I don't have, all I've got is this little laptop.
Let's, okay. Whoever has the last copy, could you please send it out to everybody, just so we're dealing with the same copy?
Would be
That
good.
seems to be an issue right now. Could whoever has the latest copy, send it to everybody, please, okay? And then, Bill, do you want to simply let us know what Julie says?
Absolutely.
And then we could move forward in terms of maybe setting up a special meeting to deal with that.
Sure.
Is that fair, everybody, or do you?
Who's the whoever?
What did I say?
Whoever has the latest copy, who's the whoever?
Oh,
Well, Shirley, I think you were just reading from some material that the rest of it, that Ray and I did not have.
no, well, I think I have the latest copy. I don't know.
Yeah. Right.
Do the
Let me
copies
ask
have
you
dates
this.
on them?
Have you got it in front of you, Ray?
Yeah, I have one copy in front of me, yeah.
Is the last page, does it have section 9 servability?
Yes,
Severability? It
yes.
does. Then you probably do have the last copy.
Well, somebody sent it to me. I didn't.
Okay,
I'll tell you what, I will find this last copy on my computer. I'm sure I have it someplace, and I will send it to you, to everybody, okay? Then
couldn't be.
Bill will let us know what Julie says, and they will make a decision to go from there. If necessary, we'll set up a special meeting. Is that fair?
Yes.
That's fair.
Okay,
Great.
all
Just
right.
one other thing, Ray. I think
Yeah.
it would make it a lot easier if we had the pages numbered. Is that possible for you to send out in your send out copy? Would you number those pages?
You're asking somebody who has little knowledge of how to even turn on a computer, number somebody else's pages, but I will try. I will try.
All right, I would appreciate it.
Okay, you're asking an awful lot, Shirley. Be careful.
I hear you.
All right. Okay, the rest of the meeting may go quickly, I think. The Arbor Day, Nicole, why don't you give us a summary? You're the one that put everything together.
Oh, you put everything together. Yeah, thank you very much, Ray, for getting that day organized, especially in terms of the tree and the donated tree and the planting and, you know, basically getting the invites out there to the, principal of the school and the students. And, you know, I think we had a pretty good turnout. And I thought it was nice to add, you know, the children in, you know, with the poster contest and, yeah, I thought the day went great. So,
Yeah, I do too. And
yeah,
the unfortunate thing is that Shirley connected us with Weston Nursery and they seemed very accommodating. They actually gave us the tree. And then the manager left. The guy we dealt with, he just walked away. I thought, oh my God, you know, he was such a nice guy. And he, by the way, he said he was going to come. He did not.
Oh.
He was gone. But there was a person from Western Nursery taking
Yeah.
pictures there.
yeah.
It was great.
So do you mean he left the company
He left the company. Yeah. Yeah.
within days of your, okay.
Maybe that's how he got the tree for nothing.
Yeah, he was probably like, I'm just gonna give stuff away. I'm really pissed off right now.
He got
Huh.
tired.
It was good. No, I thought it went well. I would have preferred to see more people there. Maybe we need to advertise better in the future. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't among the more people. I think I was doing a,
no,
Fridays have been,
I know. It's not a big deal for people anyway, but it'll be nice. I think, you know, my ability to remember and do things is diminishing, and the fact that we even did this is Nicole remembered to do it, and then all of a sudden I said, "Oh my God, we gotta do
I gotta do it.
Why don't we maybe sometime in the next couple of months set up a subcommittee to plan the next Arbor Day ahead of time so that we don't have to rush around doing things. I think that would be a good thing, and maybe making a bigger deal, trying to get more people. I think the fact that Nicole, that you linked it with the school was great. That was really good, and maybe we can do that again. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking too, maybe we could partner, you know, with another group. Maybe even just, you know, I think we need a more of a draw. I know other towns kind of coordinate their Arbor Day with handing out seedlings
Yeah.
or, you know, so I know that in the past, Pat, is it the downtown? There is a group that has been giving out seedlings in the past. I'm not sure who that is in Bridgewater.
Garden Club
The
gave,
Garden
Garden Club.
yeah.
Well,
Ed-
maybe we could partner with them and somehow, you know,
Mhm.
join forces to put on a bigger Arbor Day where we can, you know, hand out seedlings, provide some education. I'd love to be able to like show, you know, demonstrate how to plant the tree and or anything like that. So,
Yeah, and my suggestion is that maybe in September, we can set up a subcommittee, or November, October, and a subcommittee to sort of get an idea of what we want to do the next Arbor Day. Okay?
yeah. Mhm.
All right. Good. The one thing I've neglected, Nicole, I think you ordered 10 yard signs. I have
Yes.
6 up there. I still have 4 in the trunk of my car.
Okay.
I'll listen. I'm open to ideas. I think that the one problem with the yard signs is that the print is small, so it really needs to be where people can walk by to see them. I have one out in front of the Academy building. If you can just email me or let me know what your suggestions, other suggestions of where we can put them, I'll stick them up. Okay, Forestry Department, I guess oh, again, I did talk to Michael on a number of things, and I think, again, I'm not swearing by this. I think he's leaning more to getting a tree warden prior to the forestry department. That was just my feeling. And if that is done, that's be a big movement in the right direction. So maybe we can hope with that, but we have to continue to put pressure to see that come about. The other main thing is the recommended tree list. And Pat, you want to deal with that? You have some ideas?
Well, James and I had done, you know, a complete tree list based upon what we were given in the beginning. And since then, we've had some suggestions from Ryan from DCR. And I would like to just get this printed up again with James. And I asked him just a few days ago if he had some suggestions for some street trees, because I notice our list is very light now that we've made comments about where they can't go, you know, different trees that we had on our list. He said, oh, they're not good street trees. So now I have quite a few comments, you know, no for certain trees. And I want him to suggest a few street trees that we can add to this list. So I'm just waiting for that because he's the expert and we're amateurs, so.
Yeah. Okay.
One other thing on the list of trees, we talked about this, I believe, in the whole group, but maybe it was only a couple of us, that if we could categorize them as well as list them, and I'm thinking some of the categories are large versus small, good street trees versus not. Trees, for instance, that are under electric wires might be a problem. Trees that are going where they're exposed to road salt would be a problem. And if we could identify the trees in those categories, it would certainly help guide the planting of them in the future, not only for us, but also for private families who whose property borders the street and so on. And if they want to put up trees, they should have some help in knowing what are good trees to put up under these conditions. So that's something I'd like the tree committee to think about, the list of trees committee to think about if they could. And I'd be happy to help with some of the suggestions that other towns have used in that regard.
Just a question, Shirley, you're referring to simply the town's street trees. You're not talking about private trees at all, right? Recommendation?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to put them in with in certain categories, and then if the shoe fits, the private owner can say, oh, they don't suggest I put this underneath my wires coming in off the street, so maybe I better look for another tree.
Okay, but again, we're talking about the list we're coming up with is for town trees.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
But
Yes.
what you're saying is that some of them may be obviously used for private trees also.
Exactly.
All
Well,
right,
I do know that on the list that James and I prepared, James went through and listed the height on all these trees. So that in itself would determine whether they could be under wires or not.
Not necessarily, Pat. It could be that they are high but have sort of a pyramid shape. And so if it was planted to the side of the wire, the pyramid would be able to bypass the wire and they could still plant that kind of a tree. You know what I'm saying? As
I do.
opposed to a
I
big
know.
round ball.
Yeah.
So as a geographer here, one thing I've realized recently is that we have a fundamental problem, which is the place we have the most control over or influence over trees is the last place we should be putting trees, right? Because it's in the right of way of the power lines all the time. There's no such thing as a good idea for what you plant under a tree. I guess there's just, I mean, under a power line, there's just less bad ideas. And when you go down certain places, you see these Franken trees, right, that have somehow managed to grow around the wires, but it's never a good idea. But yet that's we're kind of stuck with that because this is where we can direct through. That's where we have some influence over that. Like
yeah, if you look at
it's a tricky thing.
I think Paul gave us the National Grid policy on how to cut trees, and if you look at that, you realize it's atrocious the way they cut trees, but obviously they're protecting the lines, you know. So right, James. All right.
I mean, that's not a useful comment. It doesn't move us forward, but that's one of the tricky bits. I mean, the more tricky bit is for me is my original understanding is we were making a list of trees that we would allow people proposing developments to choose from. And there wasn't a lot of nuance in that. It was just a list. And I agree that there's no such thing as a list of just here are good trees in general, because it always depends upon several different factors. So I think there's a list, and I thought we did actually send a list over to the planning board of
You
trees.
did. That's been updated based on that list, James.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that work, if that work is done, maybe we're talking here about a tree list that's more advisory for the citizenry of, recommend.
If I can clarify, James, what I think is happening now is that, first of all, the list that you and Pat came up with was sent to the planning board. It was voted in. It's in the planning board regulations now. But Ryan from DCR, when he made that presentation with us, I believe we recommended that 2 of the trees not be on the list, if I'm not mistaken, Pat. And
Yeah,
that's why there's been this change of things. And
Right.
Jane, you're also right that in most cases, the recommended list will simply be for the planning board in terms of subdivision and so forth. And they won't be under power lines, things like that. So I guess we want to wait for Ryan again, eh, Pat, in terms of his.
well, I'm just hoping he'll give us a couple of suggestions for subdivision trees, because we don't have that specifically on our list as, we have a few, but not very many, and that's probably your primary concern. When
I
it
thought that maybe Bill, you can help. I thought when we say street trees, they cover everything. Any no?
Well, I think what happened is we had a list that, to your point, of trees that we want to prioritize to plant in public open spaces
Right,
and or developments.
right,
I think when the, what's his name from DCR?
Ryan.
Ryan, when Ryan reviewed it, I think he is used to planting in streets and very urban conditions, and he basically pointed out a ton that should not be planted in streets. But I
Okay,
do think they should still be on our overall list for
Okay.
parks and playgrounds and schools and, subdivisions and wherever else. So for example, he was like saying, no, don't plant cherry trees, but he meant in streets, not in general. But so I think we do need to, James pointed this out, categorize the list of, maybe it's a matrix that has the list of, our priority trees for Bridgewater, and then we can check whether they're appropriate for streets or, other types of open spaces.
right.
Something I think it's just a chart. I don't know if we want to get rid of everything on our original list unless it was
Nope.
invasive, not native, or we're very cautious about some of these trees that have the diseases now, like the birch.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, what you're saying is basically
Yeah.
breaking the list down. in
Yeah.
Right.
Categories, yeah. Bill, what do you think about that?
Well,
Well, I agree with Nicole very much. For years, the town planted Norway maples as street trees. Now they're an invasive species.
right,
And then they went to ash trees. And ash trees are no longer recommended to put anywhere near the road. But and years ago, on Main Street, we planted a lot of fruit trees under the wires, thinking that they would remain small, but they don't do well as roadside trees. And then we put in a whole bunch of pear trees on Main Street, and they're all devastated because National Grid has trimmed them to almost nothing. So it's a very important.
So what I'm hearing is, well, what started out as a simple project is turning into something
I know, it's very
much
complicated.
larger. I thought, well, just have 6 trees and we're all set now. What do you think, Bill? What should we do? How should we do this? Separate, do two columns of trees?
Well, I don't know, when Nicole is talking about a matrix and it goes beyond my power of thought, but I know it's it's gotta be, it's gotta have several sides to it.
Well, could I show you what I've been working on so you can see that
Sure.
what I'm hoping? You see these asterisks? We have a code at the bottom, you know, that it wouldn't be good for a street tree, for example, or, you know, if we highlight the list that we have with different comments, for example, you know, when Ryan said ash and beech were not good right now, you know, we can just make those comments accordingly for what we have on our list, you know, with 1 asterisk or 2 asterisks.
Pat,
rather-
why don't, Pat,
That's
why
a
don't
good
we do
start.
that? We can't see that. Why don't
Oh,
you,
you can't.
we can't see that list. Why don't you, you're waiting for Ryan to respond, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay, maybe when you get a response from Ryan,
Mhm.
email that to Bill and James.
Okay,
And maybe we could try to come up with some sort of, I'm not sure we can finalize it the next meeting, but at least narrow down what we're doing. It sounds like we're all over the place right now.
and then will you have to go back to the planning board, I mean, to the town council to get it approved and put in the,
If this is simply approved trees, if the planning board decides what is in the subdivision control law by itself, there's no need for the council to step in.
okay,
When you and James made that recommendation, I gave it to Shane at the planning board. Planning board voted on it. It was one of those no-brainer things.
okay,
It's
Yeah.
in. So I think, but if I don't think what we're doing is going to go beyond that. If it has to go into the zoning, that's a much bigger deal. Then it's got to go to the council for that. But in any case, I think we should do what we think is right and then worry about how it's going to be implemented later. Okay, so at the next meeting, can we maybe get Ryan's update?
mhm.
And maybe James and Bill can play with it a little bit and see where we're going, okay? That sounds good.
And I think that one thing that, you know, Pat and I talked a little bit last week before I went on retreat for my anniversary, which I really needed to do. Kripalu, highly recommend 100 acres of trees, by the way, out at Kripalu in Western Mass, if you've not been out there. But so I ducked out of this conversation for a while, but I think that once Ryan has given some more input to Pat, she and I can sit down with my computer and that list to get that all into a form that can be emailed to the rest
Right.
of the group. I'm still
Okay.
not clear on where it will go, but I'm certainly able to help make it clarify what all these asterisks mean and things like that within this list, and we can then figure out what we want to do with it.
Good.
So she and I
Okay.
can meet in person, and if it's just the two of us, then it's not a meeting that needs to be posted, because it's just to get what she just showed us into a digital form, an updated digital form. Because that is still in I have it on my Google Drive. Any of you who wants to edit it and knows how to is welcome to, but it's a little tricky editing those things, I understand. So I'll do that with Pat.
James, you sort of said it, the crux of the issue there. Wants to and knows how to are two separate, distinct abilities.
I'm like the oldest digital native.
All
So
right,
I'm happy to do that part.
okay, that's good. I've covered everything there except new business. 2 things I'm just gonna bring up quickly. I was asked through Jeff Fowler to talk to somebody over at the, there's a nonprofit group clearing the area around the cable building over there. You're aware of that?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and I talked to one of the gentlemen over there. They have all sorts of plans. They're working with the town on doing it, and I suspect at some point they're going to want to know whether we can donate a couple of trees or whatever there. So I just bring that up. But nothing now, nothing issue now. The last thing I have is that July is the fiscal year, and we're up for new elections. So think about that. If anybody wants to chair or whatever, that July is the time, their July meeting. So anybody have any other thoughts or points to bring up?
I will just mention that that my wife's last day at university is in about 20 minutes. She's retiring from the university in about 20 minutes. We are going to be over the course of the summer renovating our Fairhaven house and making that our only house by maybe September. So
Oh.
anybody wants to buy a house on Maple Avenue, named for a tree, got a few trees out back. It will be for sale in August, probably September. But more relevantly, I won't be a Bridgewater resident. I'm still working at the university, but I won't be a Bridgewater resident after about
Right.
end of September.
Hmm.
So I don't know what that does to my eligibility on this club.
What it does to your eligibility is that you're off.
Okay, that's why I
Sorry to
figured.
say that, but that's the way it goes. Well, I'm pleased that you're pleased that you're happily retiring but you're gonna still working at the university, right?
Right, I'll be commuting from Fairhaven for my last 4 years.
But I gotta ask a stupid question, but what does Fairhaven have over Bridgewater?
Ocean.
Don't
Ocean.
don't answer that. Don't answer.
Ocean coastal rowing.
Ah,
And to be quite honest, our push factor was the Little League football noise across the street from us.
yeah.
That in the autumn we cannot live in this street on the
Hmm.
weekends. It's
Really?
just too much noise.
Wow.
That was our push factor, but the pull factor is ocean rowing, which I do
For you,
several times a
going.
week.
We won't tell your buyer.
All right, anybody else? Well, as much as we haven't finalized absolutely nothing at this meeting, I think we have some movement in terms of where we're going on this. And I will today, because I'll forget if I don't do it, I'll try to summarize what we're trying to do. And please correct me if I take terrible notes. Correct me if I've made mistakes on things. And as far as we will have a meeting, a special meeting on the May 24th at 12 p.m. at the library regarding the
Mitigation.
mitigation. Okay,
Very good.
take a motion to adjourn then. Nobody wants to adjourn?
So
Make
moved.
a motion.
Moves to adjourn. So second? Second, is there any discussion?
I second that.
Or your hand went up already, I took it, Pat.
Okay.
right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, bye.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good meeting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.